Brilliant. The Last Prophecy by Jonathan Lopez. Part 2. After successfully completing the strategy of the King of Saturn, his plans continued with the next planet, Uranus. His ships traveled to this planet with the same objective of forming an alliance and engaging in trade. Poiki's younger brother led this journey. His name was Pol. When they entered the orbit of Uranus, their ships were shot down, and the young prince, Pol, died instantly. Then, the other ships began to attack this planet, generating conflicts without prior conversations. The authorities of the planet Uranus saw this as a great threat and ordered a counterattack on the rest of the ships, initiating the organization of a war. The situation got out of hand for the King of Saturn, as wounded and blinded by the death of his son, he ordered his entire army to prepare for war. The collision between both races had begun, with hundreds of ships descending from the skies. Although the planet Saturn had an advantage over Uranus, they never imagined that another equally powerful enemy, Jupiter, would join the battle against them. In their desperation, the King of Saturn sent a distress message to the King of Neptune to face the crisis the war had brought upon them. It was then when the prince of the planet Neptune, Zayak, traveled with his army to help the planet of his future wife. All the planets of the solar system had great civilizations, each different from the other in physical appearance, intelligence, and technology. Each one had very sophisticated weapons, but of different power and range. The sun shone again on the planet called Neptune. Here lived a great king and governor of the entire planet named Plummet, who had an only son named Zayak, to whom he gave the authority to command all his armies. Zayak was a great military strategist and an expert in hand-to-hand combat. The planet Neptune was already aware of the existence of other civilizations on neighboring planets and had formed a trade exchange with Saturn, forming bonds of friendship. Then, King Plummet received an unexpected distress message from his ally Saturn. Immediately, he ordered Zayak along with his army to go to the defense of their ally. The war had become more interesting, as now 4 planets were involved in a war for survival. Once again, the sun showed its brightness at dawn, and throughout the galaxy of the solar system, there was chaos that seemed to have no end. Not far from this war, something had to happen to complete the solar system war. Just like planet Earth, the inhabitants of the planet Mercury had gone through several internal wars, achieving great scientific advancements. But their curiosity to know what lay beyond the boundary of their planet led them to launch several exploration ships in search of intelligent life on the planet Venus. They were amazed by what they found and began gathering information from this planet, even abducting inhabitants of Venus for scientific research. However, what the Mercurians did not know was that Venusians respected their land and nature greatly. It was like a god to them. They felt deeply offended, so they began sending ships to Mercury to destroy everything. Here on Mercury lived a very intelligent young man, the son of a famous scientist named Okiri. Seeing his planet threatened, he decided to collaborate with the war. He gained great popularity because his father, Ontaku, was a very important scientist and a pioneer in scientific research on the neighboring planet. He organized several attack strategies and invented several weapons for the defense of his planet, which made him stand out from the others and would later prove to be very useful. On the planet Venus lived a very beautiful, intelligent young woman with great physical abilities named Ankik. She had a nearly similar appearance to Earth women, with sky-blue skin and different hair. Ankik's race had shot down many exploration ships from the planet Mercury. Angry about the invasion of their sacred lands, they began the strategic planning of a journey into space destined for Mercury. It was when Ankik's army landed on the planet Mercury, ready to start the war. The clash of weapons immediately began. Ankik's main objective was to conquer a territory to set up a large camp and organize military strategies, which proved difficult but not impossible. She gained great recognition for this feat. Although Mercury is the hottest planet of all, Venusian technology was sufficient to create suits that could withstand the heat and provide oxygen to their bodies. The entire solar system was at war, with much destruction, and both resources and chances of victory were running out for everyone. Chapter 4. The Empire is here. In a faraway place from the solar system, Something unimaginable was happening in a galaxy hundreds of light years away, known as Galaxy 18. Here rose a great empire that conquered everything around it. They were filled with technology, an infinite number of soldiers, and a cunning, intelligent, ruthless, and ambitious leader named Icus. Since his youth, Icus had formed a small group of soldiers on his home planet. After overthrowing the planet's leader and leading great battles to expand his empire, his growing ambition led him to conquer all the planets in his galaxy, totaling 13 in number. He recruited a large number of soldiers from different species and enslaved hundreds of different species for the construction he had in mind. As time passed, his empire grew, and he went from galaxy to galaxy conquering everything in his path, taking the best of each planet such as natural resources, great scientists, splendid warriors. After several years of conquest and empire building, he was finally ready. Icus had ordered the construction of a gigantic ship the size of planet Earth, filled with technology, weapons, cities within the ship, including a natural park with species from each planet. Everything was very well organized. The ship was like a walking planet, but Icus's ambition did not end there. It was just the beginning of his ruthless plan for the conquest of the entire infinite universe. After passing through several galaxies destroying everything in his path, the great leader Icus had set a new destination, following a wormhole that led them to the splendid solar system. Very close to there, they were stranded, preparing an attack strategy. Hundreds of ships began to take off from Icus's gigantic ship, heading towards Mars. Icus's warriors were completely different from those of the solar system. They began to destroy everything in their path, causing confusion because there was already a war on Mars against planet Earth. The people of Earth and Mars didn't understand what was happening. When the Earthlings approached a Martian base, they saw them fighting against enemies superior in technology and completely different from them. Meanwhile, another group of Icus's soldiers headed to Jupiter and also began to destroy everything. But since most of Jupiter's soldiers were on Saturn, they began to withdraw from the planet to defend their own.